This is exactly what shows when a narcissist betrayed you and is done with you. Today, we're going to happen to examine what happens to one's body and mind after they're experiencing narcissistic abuse. So stay tuned with me, everyone. Being abused at the hands of a narcissist is a singular and isolating experience, although only a few people can relate. Why? Because dealing with a narcissist is an experience that a small number of people have ever had. So they start asking stuff like, why did you stay so long? What gave you such a blind spot that you failed to anticipate this? And other similar questions. These inquiries are painfully isolating since they cast doubt on one's experience in the aftermath of the traumatic occurrence. You constantly interrogate yourself with, am I being overly dramatic? Am I building a mountain out of a molehill? Is it I who has gone mad? No, you're not. Trust me. Moreover, I'll elaborate on why exactly this is the case. I'm going to go through 5 telltale indicators that your relationship with a narcissist is abusive. To get started, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to support this channel's content. Your subscription to this channel will give us so much support and ensure that you never miss a single update. Alright, so let's begin. To start, you have a fundamental misunderstanding of who they are. You should expect a narcissist to dramatically alter their conduct toward you during the course of your relationship. They are kind and caring, but as time goes on and their power grows, their true colors show, and a monster you never knew existed is revealed as their strength increases from a place of kindness and compassion at the outset. However, this monstrosity does not persist for long, and this nice guy soon reemerges. So that you don't drift away from them even a little bit, they are always shifting their position, and they never reveal their true nature. This inconsistency also makes it difficult to think and feel. It's not just that your happy and sad feelings from different times don't add up. The opposite is also true. The other person's character doesn't change in a healthy relationship. There isn't any inexplicable shift between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in their connection. But with a narcissist, you're never sure what to expect. It's difficult to understand how someone can be so cold and vicious one minute, and then so kind and heavenly the next. Sometimes the same person who cheers you up can also be the source of your greatest suffering. And this is a paradox that your mind has a hard time wrapping its head around. Thus, the perplexity. You wonder if they are, in fact, narcissists. If that's the case, then why did they do a good deed? Why, at a given juncture in your relationship, did they appear so perfect? This sort of probing never occurs in a happy couple's relationship. Why can't you make up your mind about the person you were with? Do you have a firm grasp on their identity? Help other survivors realize they aren't alone by sharing your thoughts in the comments area below. Secondly, you're emotionally stuck with a narcissist despite knowing you should walk on. This is because narcissist is constantly shifting and you can't predict how they'll behave. Somehow, being in the narcissist's presence triggers a physiological reaction in your body and brain, making you crave their company. You have an intellectual understanding of why being with this person would be detrimental to your health, but you still seek out their company. It is not they who want you to feel better, but rather your neurological system. Having meaningful relationships is what you long for. You felt something for them even while you were first beginning to know them. You long to be with them, but you'd rather be alone. Normal relationships don't function like this. It hurts, but if you don't want to be with someone, you have to leave them. In contrast, being with a narcissist can make you feel imprisoned. While you are aware that you must go on, a piece of you wishes to cling to what is now hopeless. Have faith that you won't be able to give up. I just wish they could realize what a catastrophic error they are making. Things never improve, no matter how many times you try or how long you wait. Things are actually getting worse. And third, you're in a lot of emotional anguish and grief. Grief is more complicated when you've been mistreated by a narcissist, since you're mourning the loss of both reality and fantasy. You're heartbroken because your dreams of a brighter future with this individual have been dashed. You feel miserable because you've sacrificed so much to be with this person. Your time, love, work, money, children, etc. You're feeling down because you see now how easily you were controlled and deceived by them during your time together. This profound melancholy stems, in large part, from the emotional agony of having been misled. Since their love bombing was all in vain, they ultimately betrayed you at the most inopportune time. There was always one who turned on you. They convinced you that your viewpoint was the correct one. They acted betrayed when they abandoned you to fend for yourself amongst the wolves. That explains why you've been in so much pain. All of these behaviors would never occur in a healthy relationship. You're sad, but you're not going to die from it. Healing from the wounds caused by a narcissist's betrayal is a slow and arduous process. You have numerous various feelings and emotions that make up your grief. Number 4. You are totally shocked. You can't believe how awful people can be unless you witness it for yourself. You've been conned, stolen from, and tricked into thinking a beautiful falsehood is a reality. They were supposed to give us sweet dreams, but all we got were bad ones. Their introduction has thrown you for a loop because it has turned your world on its head. That they have such a dark and nasty side astounds you. The idea that someone could undergo such a radical transformation or be nothing but falsehood is incomprehensible to you. When faced with adversity like this, it's easy to question one's resourcefulness. When this happens, you may start to question your decision-making skills and wonder if you were the one who missed the obvious. You're an idiot for not seeing what was happening and putting an end to the shock. The truth about the narcissist and your relationship with them is icy, heartless, and entrapping. You can't believe it was all an act. There was a total lack of sincerity, honesty, closeness, and kinship. It was all just a game they played with your life. No one can explain to you how someone might act this way. The 5th, the last one. The most recent is that you have symptoms indicative of complicated PTSD, as well as symptoms not often associated with narcissistic abuse trauma. You have issues such as sleeplessness, a lack of appetite, a heightened startle reaction, hypervigilance, chronic exhaustion, emotional and visual flashbacks, dissociation, and trouble focusing and concentrating. Problems with memory, body, or hormones such as IBS, Crohn's, fibromyalgia, MS, or hypothyroidism are considered extra. Your recovery from narcissistic abuse is further hindered by unusual symptoms that are extremely peculiar to this type of abuse, such as cognitive dissonance, trauma bonding, and Stockholm's syndrome. One experiences none of these emotions upon ending a good, regular relationship. You feel down, but you eventually recover. Just forgive yourself and them and go on with your life. That's all there is to it. It's imperative that you proceed. Not a single loose end remains. There's a lot to process when breaking up with a narcissist. When you're in a relationship with someone who is extremely demanding and stressful, your body and brain adapt in order to keep you alive. And that stresses out your whole body, including your brain. Naturally, they would wear down, and the resulting exhaustion would manifest as new health issues. The person you were with was obviously very unhealthy if you are experiencing both unique and common indications of trauma. Furthermore, there were other issues. You've been through a lot of hardship and anguish. My final question for you is to identify with which of these signs you most strongly identify before I wrap up this episode. Speculate away in the comments and tell me what you think. It's the end of today's episode. I'll fill you in on the next one. In the meantime, let's focus on improving our health. See you in another video.